Hello.
Wait.
What?
Stop the motherfucking presses.
What?
Just stop them. First of all, did y'all get into this new intro? This new motherfucking intro is listen, have you gotten into this new intro? I just want to understand if you really got into this new intro here. Like, does anybody hear me out there? I see Louboutin, I see Lynx, I see Canilli. I mean, are you understanding the and Louboutin, you certainly need to be on this because you was a day early, darling. But I'm here for it though. I'm here for it. But I'm just saying. So listen, we just gonna go ahead before we even get started. We just gonna give all these claps and applause to your Brista right here because she hooked it. Listen,
just a little something I whipped together in about 6 hours.
That's a lot. That's a lot of commitment, and I love you for it, and I thank you for it. But I'd have hit the 30-second countdown and kept it moving. But it's amazing.
No,
it's amazing.
This is part of Operation Step Our Pussies Up.
God damn it! This is more we got to do in the new year. But anyway, hey,
I'm so glad to see you again. It feels like forever.
I am so glad to be seen. I feel so glad.
Yes,
to be seen. So. The Gay Boy Mansion is it looks like it's getting bigger. Like it's like growing and throbbing.
It's got a new smell.
There's a new scent. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's called the Kempton Hotel. They do. If you've ever been into like a Kempton Hotel, they have a very specific smell and you can buy that smell.
That is cute.
And that is really, the smell. Cute. But she could be very strong. So you have to put it on low.
Away from something.
Because like I had it right at the front. When I first bought it, I walked in, I was like, whoo. Woo.
She's like, hello, welcome.
It's not diffused. It's more like right in your face. So, but yeah, so Sunday I was on the M3 Undercover podcast with Derek Jones, and they had done this, and so this is a website called Place It. Child, it's nothing when you really break it down to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of pre-done animations that you can customize with slides, and you can change your own text. But it's really a fancy PowerPoint slideshow.
I'm here for it. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. It looks amazing.
There's more to come, baby.
I am here. I am here for you.
We gotta find new music though, because I when I tell you, I listened to they've got a bunch of free tracks.
Right.
I listened to 300 or so of the 5,000 free tracks, and then I was like, "Oh, girl, this is just going to have to do because I'm over this."
Yeah, you do get to that.
I am 100% over.
But that was cute because it was very tracks, but like 3-4 o'clock in the morning after you got your first popped your cherry and you got your first good dance on, and you taking a little break.
I was looking for something a little more housey, but
it's that like
this isn't a black creator.
But it's that like smooth sit down, like, whew, I'm tired. I'm gonna drink this drink and I might smoke on this cigarette here while I get myself together and then build myself back up. But it's cute. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
It works. Step your pussy up is a long-term project.
There's a lot of things that there's a lot.
Yes.
Part of that involves, even for myself, because I can't speak for anybody else, part of that involves just the mental health, physical well-being, financial well-being, and just a lot. So I'm here for it in 2021. So yeah, it's April, but there's never too late.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So how was your week?
My week was great, but welcome everyone to the BGKH Show episode number
130. Yes. And as we explained, at the top of the show, black, gay, kinky human, you saw all of that.
You get to see all of that. Mm-hmm. You see all of that. To finish off with what I was saying earlier, but the week was good. I have been swamped with a lot of work this week because I'm preparing for something next week and the following week. So I feel like there are tons and tons of stuff to do, or tons and tons of things to do for next week. Mm-hmm. And I work with two people that they have all the tasks in their brain. Mm-hmm. And instead of just writing them down on a list or just saying these are the things that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I now find myself doing the same thing that they're doing, which is thinking about it from the beginning to the end and doing all the other tasks and asking with it. So it's heightening my, it's irritating me.
Yeah.
It's irritating me. So, but I'm still happy and fortunate to be able to work from home and all that good stuff. So I've been in my room a little bit more. But it's been good. The weather's been great. So I'm excited about that.
Yes.
And, but it's all in all, it's been a pretty mellow week. I got in touch with, listen, I want you all not only to get into this television, get into the shirt right here that you can see on the screen here.
Mm-hmm.
So this shirt is from one of our brothers, Deviant Onyx. And this is one of my favorites from him. And it says, "'Cause with y'all vicious motherfuckers, it do take nerve." Does anybody know where that's from? Let me just give you a hint. Junior is their first name, and I'll let you come up with the last name. But just so you all know,
Velasquez?
No, not Velasquez. Nope.
Junior.
That's his first name.
Is this somebody we know, or is this a?
Yes, he is a gay icon, honey.
What movie was this?
Paris is Burning.
I was thinking. I thought so, but I remember. Okay. Yes,
Paris
it do take nerve. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, but if any of you, he has a t-shirt line and he sells a few other things. So Deviantly Branded, go and check him out. www.deviantlybranded.com. But
and that's part of stepping our pussy up too, because we got like 100 shirts we ready.
Well, yeah, and
I'm ready to roll with. And this whole site, I chose the paid version because the free version only limits you to like 3 slides or whatever. And it does t-shirt markups and marketing and all of that for you. So it was only like $15 a month. So
listen, we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we're about to do something. I'm trying to quit my regular job to do this full time. I'm trying to make this be.
This takes more responsibility. Like,
would you rather do this or fuck with these people?
I'm here.
Okay, there you go.
I'm here. So that was my week. How was your week?
My week was quiet. I had to adjust to a Muggle existence. Because I was quite happy. In my 2-bedroom suite, and having free, if somewhat nasty drinks, but they were free, and free food, and going on adventures, and the sex all the time, and the beach and all of that, and then having to come back and being like, oh, I have to cook my own food now.
Isn't that awful? It's like, can we go to Lido Deck? Can we get something like?
Right, and it wasn't even like a cruise. That was the part that I was missing. Was so it was a little easier than like when you go on a cruise because just whatever. But so that was fine. Work. Hey, continues to be okay. Like my coworkers are like, oh, so I don't know, because they keep asking, like, oh, so last week, I said to my boss, because I'm trying to build this case for like even when everybody goes back to the office in September, I'm like, I'm not going back to the office. But to do that, I'm gonna have to prove that I'm doing a wonderful job. And so I was like, hey, if you need anything, you just let me know. And then so she messages me like 5:45 on last Wednesday.
AM or PM?
Bitch, AM. I don't even answer the phone. This bitch is on Do Not Disturb.
I was like, oh, bitch,
there
wait
is
a minute.
absolutely no reason for me to take a work call at 5:45.
I just wanted to clarify.
So no. Yeah. So she messaged me at 5:45 a.m. PM. And she was like, hey, yeah, so you can do this, blah, 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 work on this stuff. And, you can charge overtime for it. And I was like, stop. It's Wednesday. I have a commitment on Wednesday as I host this radio show. She's like, oh, yeah, you got to give me the link. I was like, no, I don't. She was like, yeah, I mean, I can see that. And it's like another coworker was like, oh, you got a part, because I mentioned it to him too. She didn't tell it, but then I was like, no, because if I do that, then I can't talk about you hoes.
Exactly.
On it. And so there is that. And it's so funny. It's so I have my boss, but then I have the manager that I support, right? And this hoe thinks that he is mentoring me. This child is 35 years old.
And that is exactly why I went into that headspace. I was like, this person is probably younger than you. And
it's not even that. I mean, yes, he is an electrical engineer, so there are things that I don't know. But I don't need to be. I need you to answer specific questions about things in the electrical engineering field that I don't know. But I don't need. He's like, because like, without being braggadocious,
something.
The level of skill that I walked into for this job is here.
Mm-hmm.
The typical skill level that they have is here.
Right.
So these people do need to be mentored on how to. He do nothing as crazy as how to update my resume, but he was like, yeah, we had this thing called Grow Your Career at Pepco, and it talks about, you know, the importance of a career lateral move and, you know, how to manage your time and all that. He was like, yeah, you should really do it. He was talking to the whole team. I was like, girl, I don't need none of that. This is a well-paying, non-taxing job. I do not need any career mentoring or anything like that. And he's not trying to be condescending, and he really isn't. He really is being helpful because based on the position, the person that typically comes in is whatever. And so I keep trying to say, no, I am a program manager. And he keeps thinking that I did the same thing for program management. One of these days, I'm going to be like, girl, check my resume. Girl, I'm just doing this. And so he was like, yeah, I hope you won't be leaving me anytime soon. I was like, who knows, honey? I mean, this is a cute, well-paid job. But if they call me back to the big leagues, you know. In fact, I'm meeting with my old boss that got me the job at Randstad because she doesn't work at Randstad for United Airlines. She's now work for Randstad supporting United. Well, she doesn't work at Randstad anymore. She was like, hey, you want us to talk on Monday? I was like, yes, I do. But I'm going to be real specific with her. But like, listen, what I like about this job is that I work from home and I make a really good salary. I make as much money as I was making when you met me. So, you know, if this job doesn't provide at least that much money and hopefully work from home, it'd have to be an incredible opportunity for me to be like, yeah, I don't want to work from home anymore.
Yeah. And those jobs do still exist.
I mean, plenty of them exist.
Absolutely.
So like a lot of them are like, you know, some of them in like consulting, if they were like, well, you got to travel and so you'll be in the office. So technically you won't be working from home because you're expected to be on the road like 3 days a week. I was like, that's fine because I could still do that in Florida because most times those jobs just say you have to live, you know, not more than an hour from a major airport. So, you know, you can't be like, oh, I live in the middle of Oklahoma, you know, 5 hours from the nearest airport. No, that's not going to work.
Right.
So, you know, that was fine. And then, you know, I spent some time with the slave this weekend. And then I did the thing on Sunday, and then thus came the intro, and there's something else for you to see a bit later on.
Okay, all right.
So
yeah, because that phone call, I was like, she's like, what? I was like,
right.
I have so many. I was like, it's like 19,000.
Right. So I called him up, and I was just like, what did they call you?
He's like, if you had a nickname, what would it be? And I'm like 19 of them. Like half everybody on here knows me by like one or two of them. And then I got the other nicknames that people like my good Judy's from years ago. Like you go through like Mahatma Gandhi and Splenda and Bubbles and like all these like what? I'm like,
right. Well, we went with Starkeisha. So Starkeisha,
and I'm fine with that. That's where
Starkeisha works. So you know, so Yabrista and Starkeisha, you know, so Starkeisha that was in the intro card. And then there's, you know, more to come later. Because, you know, I really am trying to step this girl up and, you know, make us some coins. You know, I got the TikTok started. You know, we got some other stuff coming and going on. So, you know, we are just trying to make it happen in this world.
Yes. Yeah, Links. It's a whole story, but I'll tell you about it later.
And the last thing we did is we planned our summer vacation.
Yes, I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. So I got excited about that. I'm
very excited. The house is cute.
What? I was like, okay, this is exciting. And then I'm also at the same time, I'm still trying to plan the birthday stuff for that particular week. And so I'm like, what is going on? Like, I just want a definitive answer on where we are going to be as far as travel is concerned. And that's my biggest hesitation.
Well, the places that you're going to go, they're already open for travel. You know,
they are
Mexico. And then all you got to do is have a negative COVID test. And girl, they give you them COVID tests right there at the resort. So I don't know. And you're going to be fully vaccinated. And up until the vaccination, you know,
me,
we gonna be.
As of yesterday, I think it was 2 weeks. Yeah, as of yesterday,
mine
it was 2 weeks
the 30th, so it'll be a week from yesterday, and then I'll be fully vaxxed because I get the second shot right when I got back from Cancun.
Yes.
So yeah, but you should be fine.
Yeah, I mean,
as long as you're gonna have to, people get vaccinated and be like, yeah, girl, I'm just gonna go and bust it wide, and I'm like, no, you're still gonna need to do the same thing because everybody else ain't vaccinated.
And that's the issue. That's the issue and the concern for me, because I'm also sitting here thinking, you have people that are in different places and different states of mind that are like, I'm not wearing a mask, I'm not gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And they're just hanging out with 18,000 people. Like, I'm waiting for this spike to happen in Florida from the whole, spring break and all that shit. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what is that gonna be? And that became another option as well, because I was like, well, if I don't necessarily go out of the country, I could do the whole Disney Islands of Adventure type of situation. Because listen, I'm a theme park kid. I like getting on rides, and as long as my ass will fit in there and it'll hold me secure, then I'll get on it.
Boom.
So that's just where I'm at. So we shall see.
So yeah, it's been a productive week, and I'm ready for some more fun and excitement. And for those of us who are there, you can join us in Fort Lauderdale, July 20th through the 27th.
Yes.
And so yeah, all right.
I was like, yes, that's it.
And baby, I've already, I already started checking. Well, I didn't start checking flights, but I've already arranged some other people. I think Spesh and
so first of all, we cannot
Kareem
go. We can't go on a excursion without Spesh and Kareem somewhere in the background, like lurking around with the
being super fancy,
not the executive level, but the like super VIP.
Right, like
level.
We're going to show up at our house and be like, "Oh, this house is cute," and then Spesh and Kareem are going to be like, "Hey, why don't y'all come over to our house for one night?" And then like the door's going to be like, "Good evening,
right?"
Sir.
Or it'll be like some whole traveling mansion on the water or something. Like,
right?
What the fuck? Like, what is this?
And they do have those.
So I just watched. Damn it! I just watched this movie last night about these two transgender girls. And it's been making the rounds on internet, and people have been talking about it. It is called, it was actually pretty good. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was watching it. Secret Society. And in that movie, they one of the girls met this guy who literally had a mansion on the water that was a boat and it's floated. So it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
They had that because after we got back from Cancun, I'm already like, because Cancun only took 4 hours to get to, so I feel like it's
that was one of my options too. I was like,
it was
back to Cancun.
I mean, we can go back. I mean, I don't go the way I'm going, but the way I went. But
meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking like, do I want to go back to? Do I want to go Planet Hollywood?
No, you do not.
Then I saw Hard Rock Cafe and another one, so I was like, well, maybe I'll do Hard Rock.
Well, the spot where
yes, and literally,
I was like, oh, that looks cute.
Literally, so I looked at it and I was like, this is cute. I was like, okay.
There's a lot. As long as you stay on that strip, there's a lot of cute hotels there. I just wouldn't say where we stay because it's way out at the end of nowhere and it's sort of fully contained. And if you just want to hang out on the beach and drink and party and bullshit just right in there and don't want to go nowhere, it's perfectly fine. But, if you want to do a little bit more like we do, where you want to be able to leave out of your hotel, and then there's like a couple of malls, there was a Fat Tuesdays, there was all kinds of restaurants and stuff. So even if you don't want to do it, I mean, you could eat all it there, but it's just other stuff to do.
Yeah.
So
whatever way the wind blows.
I mean, if you want to do that, I mean, we can
I literally
on planning Vacation Express.
I literally was looking at the Royalton, and I swear for God, when he said that, I was like, now which Royalton are they in? I was like, is it because it's two different Royaltons? I was like, what? Then I was looking at the brand that I actually stayed with before, the Ryu. I like their brands because they kind of give a whole bunch of stuff. But I was like, do I want to do that again? Do I want to do something else? I was like, but a lot of stuff. So a lot of choices. Yes, Eccentric. It is Secret Society, and it was pretty good. One of my friends actually told me that one of the girls that I remember from the ballroom scene, Maisha, is the director, was the writer or the director of the show, of that movie. And so I shout out to her, Maisha Forbes, I think is her name. Shout out to her. Congratulations on the movie because it's actually pretty good. And it kind of talks about their lives these two women that are living their lives growing up as transgender women, and some of the stuff that goes on. So it was, it's cool. I enjoyed it. It was only like an hour and a half. It was quick. It was to the point. But I was a little annoyed with the fact that in 2021 we have so many different actors that could have played these two transgender women. And I just couldn't understand why they were chosen. They weren't bad, but I was just like, okay, well, whatever. But it was still good. So, but anyway, enough of that. Where are we now?
So let's just dive into it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So this is some good news. So there's a charm, there is the Charmed reboot that's in now. What is it on season 3?
I think so.
They cast a trans actor named Maria Salazar in a new role. She'll be she'll be starring in a 3rd season coming up. Salazar is Canadian and Venezuelan, will join the CW series midway through season 3, which began in January of this year. She'll be playing the recurring character of Josefina, second cousin of the Charmed ones, because in this version they're all Latina.
No, it's like a mixture, I think. Black and Latina, and it's a mixture. Yeah.
Her character is described as opinionated and strong, and will show up unannounced on the witch's doorstep with secrets and a personal mission. Her Salazar's role was announced on Trans Day of Visibility. It marks her first TV part, having recently starred in a Dutch film, Verveld op Cuba.
Yeah, congratulations, Mariah. I don't know if that's how Mariah or Maria.
It's probably Mariah. I said Maria.
But no, and that's how it's spelled. So, but congratulations, and best of luck with that.
Yes.
So this I found funny. I found absolutely.
I saw
hilarious.
the picture. Hilarious, because he looked like he gave 0 fucks.
Yeah. So there was a fired Walmart worker drives his car through the store. This is what the cops have said. So this fired Walmart employee crashed his car through the front door of the store and kept driving inside the building, according to police. Now, it happened Friday morning in Concord, North Carolina. The police arrested a 32-year-old. His name was Lacey Cordell Gentry, who had been recently fired from the store. They say that when officers got there, he was driving his 2015 Volkswagen Passat inside the store, causing substantial damage and endangering others. Now, they were able to get him out of the car, stop the vehicle, and get him arrested. They released the photos, which we were just talking about. And those double sets of doors, where it was like he just took one out and just kind of went through and was just driving down the aisles. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, what? Like, what? But anyway, he was charged with 2 felony counts of assault with a deadly weapon on a government official, felony breaking and entering, and other misdemeanor charges. Now, he was sent to the Cabarrus County Jail under a $100,000 bond, and it was unclear if he had a lawyer. So, listen, he just got fired. That man was a little bit upset, and I don't even know what the rest of the backstory is, but
I can only imagine what he did to get fired if he's the kind of person that would actually drive his car into and through the store. He was like, girl, you know what? Fuck y'all.
Right.
I mean, I guess.
Hey, Lola. No, haven't watched it yet. Thanks for that tidbit, Accenture. I'm going to come back to that in a second. So you guys have heard about DMX. There was a prayer vigil that was held for him as he still remains hospitalized. There was as many as 500 people that gathered outside the White Plains, New York hospital where the rapper and actor is currently being treated. A longtime attorney, Murray Richmond, confirmed to CNN Sunday that DMX has suffered a heart attack around 11 p.m. on Friday at his home in White Plains and was taken via ambulance to the hospital center. Richmond said that the artist was on a ventilator, and the attorney said that he did not know what may have caused the rapper to have a heart attack, and they're just not sure. Now, according to News 12, police had to block off the street after a crowd gathered for the prayer vigil for the artist who grew up in Yonkers and who, over the years, has given back to the community by feeding residents on Thanksgiving and donating to the local community center he attended as a youth. So he's from Yonkers and never left Yonkers, and that's what he did. So congratulations on that part of your career, and we're wishing you well sending you good vibes and healing vibes to get yourself back together. Because listen, there's probably at least 2 or 3 songs that every one of the people that are probably in this room know or have danced to or have had anonymous sex to. I'm just saying.
That all of that. Yes.
I'm just saying.
So apparently California's governor is aiming to reopen California by mid-June, contingent on public health metrics. According to NPR, California could lift most statewide COVID restrictions by June 15th if the vaccine supply is sufficient and hospitalizations are low, according to Gavin Newsom, who announced that on Thursday. Quote, "We are seeing bright light at the end of the tunnel. And on June 15th, all things being equal, and we continue that good work, we'll have moved beyond that blueprint and we'll be opening up this economy at business as usual." He stressed that Californians should remain vigilant, especially given the relatively high case count of coronavirus variants recorded in the state. But he said California could soon be ready to take another step in its pandemic recovery, citing the lower number of hospitalizations and an expected increase in the availability of vaccines provided by the federal government. The state's travel advisory stated that as of April 1, there was no longer a recommendation that Californians travel not more than 120 miles from their place of residence, though it continues to discourage non-essential travel outside of the state.
Now, get this. The announcement comes as the governor faces political pressure from a recall effort that he dismissed last month as partisan and Republican. Critics of Newsom have taken issue with his handling of the pandemic and business restrictions and are frustrated by worsening housing and homelessness issues and high taxes. Now, it's one of several such efforts that have been filed since Newsom was reelected in 2018, and it would be California's first gubernatorial recall in nearly 2 decades. So while he may be thinking or saying out loud that the state is ready to go on to the next level, there's a motive behind this. So I want Californians to be careful with all of this new information. There's also a memo talking about outlining the transition. State public health officials said that business sectors will be able to return to usual operations with limited public health restrictions. They're talking about unless testing or vaccination status is verified for all attendees, conventions and large events are going to be capped at 5,000 until October 1st. Disneyland Park is going to reopen. Now, they also said that schools and institutions of higher learning would actually go back to full time, and they will return to in-person learning, but he kind of stopped short of saying or calling it a requirement. So all I'm saying is, Californians use some discernment here and figure out what you want to do, but and that's just where I am. Be safe out there. So that's what we can say.
Yeah.
Now, in other news that's the west of us, Arkansas has adopted a ban on gender-affirming healthcare for trans youths. Okay, so Arkansas lawmakers, Governor Asa Hutchinson's veto on a bill banning gender-affirming medical treatment for trans youth on Tuesday, making the state the first to prohibit physicians from providing what they and activists have described as life-saving healthcare. The law, called the Save Adolescents from Experimentation Act, or SAFE Act, bars healthcare professionals from providing gender-affirming care, including surgery, puberty blockers, hormone therapy, to anyone under 18. Physicians are also banned from referring minors to other professionals for such care. So this, okay, let me finish talking about this. Arkansas State Rep Robin Lundstrom, the lead sponsor of the measure, says he's likened the SAFE Act to other laws intended to protect youths. And he's trying to make it, compare it to requiring a child seat in a car, which I thought was a horrible example. Now, while this veto was celebrated by human rights activists, Hutchinson is one of several governors who have signed into law bans on transgender student athletes playing girls and women's sports. The measures are part of a growing trend in Republican-led states to target trans people. According to the Human Rights Campaign, state lawmakers have introduced more than 80 anti-trans bills during the 2021 legislative session.
Yeah. So, and that whole veto was bullshit. So he vetoed it so that he could, get some positive publicity for it. Because like you said, he's already gone on for signing other bills like bans on transgender student athletes. So we already know that, as Marcus said, he knew his veto would be overruled, which is why he did it. So there was no political pressure on him. So this wasn't some principled stand on the issue. So fuck him and fuck all of those people. And
this I found this to be very poignant as far as this article, and as well as what this situation is. So Human Rights Campaign President Alfonso David said Arkansas has put itself in the lead of a race to the bottom fueled by fear and disinformation. And he also said, but this fight is not over. We will utilize every available tool to fight for the rights and futures of trans and non-binary youth and their families. So listen, they are fighting to be at the bottom, and they have a good head start right now. So yeah, that's just where I am.
Them in Georgia.
It's just sad. It's absolutely sad. So I think about all of our trans siblings and the issues that they have on a day-to-day basis, not to mention where they are geographically, not to mention where they are financially. And now you have this legal aspect that you have to fight.
Unnecessarily.
Just a hot mess, just absolute hot mess. So,
and they call it experimentation, Save Adolescents from Experimentation Act, which is offensive because, there's proven science behind, providing surgery, puberty blockers and hormone therapy.
Yeah.
And, it just shows a lack of understanding and a lack of care. And it's yet another example of hypocrisy on the part of Republicans, because the Republicans are all for one's personal autonomy when it comes to the ability to buy guns, but it stops there. So personal autonomy is I'm not going to get on a rant, but personal autonomy looking at Republicans is only the right of cisgender white males. It doesn't apply to anyone that's part of the LGBTQ community, because this is saying that people don't have autonomy over their own body. It doesn't apply to women, because we know these same people are against abortion. It almost certainly doesn't apply to Blacks or Native American people or Latinos or Asian people. So, yeah, it's all bullshit. These people are all dying off. So what we need to do is just keep fucking and keep having babies. And, eventually they'll be outpopulated. So
this is true. Someone mentioned that they, when we were talking about the DMX, they were saying that it was reported that he had COVID. And then somebody saying that someone actually said that in the comments that he had already passed. I'm not even sure what that was. But again, our thoughts and prayers go out to him. Hopefully he's doing well. Eccentric, you mentioned something about the director of Secret Society saying she didn't want people. She wanted more of a mass appeal. Give me a little bit more information about that. I want to see what I can find, because I want to reach out through some of the interwebs and also the people webs and see what I can actually find out as well. I think that'll be interesting to talk about maybe next week.
Yeah, so let's talk. There's a couple of, let's talk about some fun stuff. Did you see Godzilla versus King Kong?
I saw Godzilla versus King Kong, and I was very upset with Godzilla versus King Kong because they could have taken all of the human stuff out of the damn movie.
But let's ignore all of that. Let's just we agree that we can just ignore everything that had to do with humans except for the little deaf girl, because she was integral to the plot.
Yes, she was. But for me, what I really wanted to see was, I just wanted to see Godzilla and Kong get it the fuck on.
They did it for like 30 minutes.
No, I needed to see like a whole like a
But this wasn't-
WWF
right, but-
wrestling match. I need to see
Right,
all
but
of
this
that.
isn't the old Toho movies. I mean, you know, they spent $100 million on this movie, so they got to build a whole plot around it.
Well, listen, they did that.
So the little girl was important to the movie. I guess her mama was somewhat important to it, but that dude whose brother died, who, you know, the Middle Earth thing, I was like, girl, she didn't need to be in. I mean, that dude didn't need to be in the movie at all. And the whole story with 11, you know, from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, okay.
With Madison is her name. With Madison and her father and the black dude and the little chunky Australian boy, that all that shit could have been done.
Been taken out.
It didn't have anything to do.
And the stories,
with the plot.
The stories literally were like, I was looking at an extra from the film. It was like Team Kong versus Team Godzilla, and the stories were basically based on Team Kong and Team Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Those stories, they weren't even, and I see Coyote mentioned on here, there was no fleshing out of the characters. Like, it wasn't even put together very well.
Right.
The thing that I enjoyed the most about the movie was the fact that you got to see, just like we did in Godzilla, where he came from,
right,
more of his origins. And so with this, I got to see more of Kong's origins and where he came from and what his purpose is, because he's almost there as a balance of power, so that all these giant things, they all can, there's not one that is technically there is, but there's not one that can beat all of them. And if multiple ones get together with the additional accoutrements and other powers that they have,
right,
they can beat the others.
All I want to say is I don't appreciate all you hoes that just immediately wrote King Kong off. Like, before the movie even started, I was like, you motherfuckers better put some respect on
his
Godzilla's name.
No,
I mean King Kong's name.
Because Kong is a beast. Are you not understanding?
Juicy. And the first, so
yeah,
what they didn't clearly talk about was that movie, the last Kong that we saw, that he was like a teenager.
He was a young, yes,
he was young. So he is as tall. He is as tall as Godzilla now, yes, and as beefy. So he really could go toe to toe.
Old and crotchety,
right? With King Kong, he could go toe to toe with King Kong, with Godzilla right now. What was interesting and good about the part with the little girl was that it showed that he's not. This wasn't a big dumb lizard fighting a big dumb ape. This is two intelligent creatures,
absolutely,
who were fighting one another for dumb reasons. Well, I mean, whatever people fight, you know, there were some things that weren't well explained. Like, all right, so they go to Middle Earth or whatever the fuck it is that they go. And I was like, okay, I know it's been 30 years, but that's a lot of tunneling underneath the earth to get to there. But okay, I'm not even talking about the shit that exists naturally, but I'm talking about the part that the corporation built. And I was like, okay. It was beautiful to look at, but
it was.
Who built all of that shit?
And it was confusing because it was like a bottom and a top, but then it wasn't really upside down.
It's because gravity is inverted,
right,
and all of that.
So it was.
So I mean, I got all of that, and yeah, all of that was cool, and it was beautiful to look at, and the way King Kong fucked up that flying. Right,
them little. And so I was talking to somebody. They said whoever wrote this had to be really sick and twisted to come up with that sort of monster, and I was like. But I mean, it was just a flying lizard, and like, what do you mean? With it wasn't
big wings.
They just kind of made it like, and it's like, but that was really sick and twisted. And I was like, was it though?
Right, Lynx. It's like a train from the USA, from Pensacola, Florida, to Hong Kong, that go through the earth, and they was able to do this, and ain't nobody talk about it.
And it was like a maglev, so they were going like 3,000 miles an hour.
Because they got there very quickly.
Yeah,
they got there in like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah,
so,
it was like, but
it was almost instantaneous, by the way. And also, so there's a facility that exists that has built all this underground shit that no one talks about and no one knows about, yet your ass can sneak into an area on a pass in an area that you clearly don't have any reason to be in. So that shit should have beat the whole fucking time when you was in there. And ain't nobody see y'all walking to the room where they was keeping.
Listen, I'm sure they had some sort of eye scan, body temperature scan, and you fit nothing of the person that should have been down there.
Right.
Nothing. So
right. And the journey to the center of the earth, it would have been at least been good to see like some idea of who built it, like
was part of it natural?
Right. No, that wasn't natural.
Well, I mean,
that throne and everything and all that shit in the ground that lit
up. But
somebody had to build that. But okay, was it aliens? Because they already established that aliens exist because Ghidorah that was the whole thing, is that Ghidorah with the three-headed monster was why, because he was out of balance, because he's an alien, because he isn't from Earth. So we've already established that aliens could be there. So like, did aliens build all that shit in Middle Earth? Did the same race where they put the nuclear blast and destroyed all that shit, in the underground water cave when they gave Godzilla all his powers back, so all of that. So they did all of that. And I also thought, I feel like the whole part with Mechagodzilla was rushed.
It was a
so good idea.
Ridiculous.
It was a good idea that
was it though?
But here's why it was a good idea though, because they established that the three heads of Ghidorah talk to one another through communication. Okay. So inside the brain of Mechagodzilla is the neural network of one of the three heads.
Okay.
The dude, that young dude, who by the way was Dr. Serizawa's son.
See,
which why that needed to be. That made no sense. Okay, but it was. That's who that was. That was the second brain. So those two brains were communicating with each other. That was why Mechagodzilla became quote unquote evil, because those two brains were actually communicating with one another.
It was, like you said, rushed. I felt like it was very cheap the way it was put together.
Mechagodzilla?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was very, it looked like, it just looked like, actually the skeletons that you see inside of the Natural History Museum. But
I mean, that kind of makes more sense, because what would be the point of giving Mechagodzilla?
Well, no, I'm not saying they should have given him flesh or done anything else with it, but it just, something about him just looked cheap. It looked very, and then you had these these weapons and these things and these powers that would pop up out of this morphing metal. Like the metal itself didn't open up and something else popped out of it. It was just like it morphed into something else.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, okay. And I mean, visually it looked good, but I was like,
but the battle between King Kong and Godzilla was good.
Listen, when them two hoes realized they needed each other and Godzilla was like, bitch, wait, let me get my breath.
But when Godzilla, when King Kong was on his back, right, and then they put that thing on his chest to like jumpstart his heart, and then the little girl was like, "Godzilla is not your enemy." King Kong was like, "Fuck that nigga, fuck that nigga." He really was like, he was like, "What? That bitch? Me? No."
He was like, all right.
He was like, "Listen, you ain't let me astray so far, so I'm gonna trust you.
I'm gonna go ahead with you." Like,
okay, but I don't know." So,
Coyote said, director said, that's really exactly what I got.
It did look
that's
kind
what
of
I
like
got. I was like, it's like
the battle on the battleship was high.
That was, listen,
that battle on the battleship was everything.
Kong stood up and was like, "What's up?"
Right. He was like, "Come for me.
What's up?
Bring it, bitch. Bring it. And then Godzilla was like, "Brought." Then they got on the ship, and I was like, that ship should have sank under all of that weight.
It really should have.
We was just gonna leave that alone. Godzilla was like, wham, right in the jaw, and Godzilla was like, "Bitch."
It was a lot.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to it. And I'm not going to say that I was disappointed, but I was whelmed.
It was cute. I'm unlike Wonder Woman 84, which I would have been pissed off if I had gone to see in the movie. This one, I would have been like, "Oh, this is still fine," because it still had a very IMAX quality.
So that's what I would have loved.
supported.
Seeing it in the
Right,
IMAX theater,
yeah.
yeah, that would have been absolutely great. I'd have been like, all right, okay.
I love a movie where I got to turn my head because there's
And
so
you gotta
much
see
to
the whole
see.
damn
Because it
screen.
gives you like an immersive view. It feels like you're more there.
But note to anyone that out there that is afraid of any sort of insect, bitch, don't go see the first Godzilla. Was it the first Godzilla or was it Kong? Skull Island.
Oh, bitch, Skull Island. Oh, girl.
Don't go see Skull Island at the IMAX theater, bitch. You will gag. Because you will gag. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was all right.
Have we talked? Did we talk about Justice League last week?
We talked about it a little bit, but we can. I mean, there's more stuff that we can talk about because there's so many different things.
I fucking loved Justice League.
So everything about it was amazing.
About it, and
everything about it was absolutely amazing, and it was
there was enough that was already done to like
set up several other movies,
right? And it was like, well, I know that there was animosity between
Zach and Josh,
or Zach and Warner Brothers, which was why they basically rewrote so much stuff. But it was so much of a better movie. Like it explained Wonder Woman.
But the other thing is, why do you have and maybe I'm missing a piece of this, but from what I understand, Zach was hired to do the movie. He had a personal tragedy. He lost his daughter, and he could not finish the film. And then they hired Josh.
Apparently that was the story that they told.
That is true.
There was already creative differences going on, and that was the excuse that everybody used for him to be like, "Girl, I'm tired of fighting with you girls."
Well,
and on top of this, my daughter died. Maybe if they had been a better working relationship, it might have just been a pause for a couple of weeks.
Maybe that
or
was
a month. I like as Louboutin said, I loved the story with Cyborg. I mean, Cyborg. So two stories. Cyborg and Flash were the key. I mean, even Superman wasn't as critical. The movie could have been made almost without Superman.
Well, no, not necessarily. For me, what I gathered from this was the Justice League was this movie showed the importance of every single member.
Right, they all had a part to play.
Justice League, and so that's what made and by telling their
backstory, this Zack Snyder's movie fully showed
exactly
each person being critical.
Exactly,
except for Aquaman, the movie could have been kind of made without.
So Aquaman, yes, I think
even though
a lesser part.
Listen, I love.
He did have a lesser part.
Momoa,
he did have a lesser part, which I was okay with, but he, for me, was the comedy that they tried to make Flash to be in the original Justice League.
Right, and Flash had a very serious. I mean, basically, Flash saved the whole fucking planet.
Very, very critical part, and the whole thing with Cyborg, and because he was part. He had one of the mother boxes. Yeah, part of the mother boxes.
He had the energy, the essence of the mother box in him.
That flash that he had going into the future where he saw the way things ended or how things were going. And then that led to the alternate version with Batman and the Joker and all that other stuff. I mean, Zack Snyder had fleshed out even beyond that what was going to happen. They talked about this, how there was Themyscira had been basically almost wiped away and everybody was killed. Wonder Woman actually had died in that version. And then once again, Flash was going to be critical with bringing things back to setting it back to zero.
He saved the whole fucking universe, the whole fucking planet, because by him going back in time and running faster than he'd ever run before, he was able to reset the clock so that Cyborg could actually separate the mother boxes
and Superman, because again, he couldn't do it alone. And so, and then Bruce Wayne's part was realizing that they all had a part to play in bringing them all together. Even him, had a part to play because he brought them together. That was his contribution.
Right. And Wonder Woman was like, "Bitch, you got one more time to talk about my sisters."
Listen. I was waiting for her to have a moment. But baby, when she chopped that head off, I said, she was like,
which made so much more sense than him just being scared of the parademons and the parademon sensing his fear. And I was like, okay, so that makes so much more sense. And it really did establish the coming of Darkseid.
Yes.
And they keep saying Warner Brothers has said there's no plans for but they also said
they were not going to release.
They was never going to release this. When now that people have seen, and what Zack Snyder was doing is whatever the creative team is that's behind Marvel movies. He was saying we can't just keep making these movies as standalone. There needs to be an overarching plot that connects all of these people.
Yes.
That's why light-skinned black dude was Martian Manhunter.
Oh my God. And I absolutely fucking hate him. I hate looking at him, but Martian Manhunter is a bad bitch.
Yeah.
But the actor, I hate looking at him. I'm like, oh, bitch, you get on my nerves.
Yeah, and I would have liked to see they showed the Green Lantern Corps in like the ancient battle, but I would have liked to see a Green Lantern, like a tease of a current Green Lantern.
So there was a guy that was cast in Zack Snyder's version. It was a young black guy that was actually cast cast to be in the film.
Jon Stewart.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I mean, there's been plenty of other Green Lanterns. I mean, there was Wade, whatever that Ryan.
Let me just talk about Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you have seen this movie. Listen,
the comedy alone was terrible.
The comedy alone was enough to listen. You sit back and you drink a little bit, smoke a little bit. The comedy alone.
It was funny, but it was.
But Ryan Reynolds, when I realized that they painted this motherfucking suit on his body and that was his body. Yeah. I love you.
My.
I love you. You can call me anytime.
Right.
Anytime.
So overall, I loved everything about that movie. Even the 4 hours, it felt like I was watching.
I didn't even realize it was 4 hours.
I mean, I realized it was 4 hours, but I didn't feel like.
Did you watch it straight through?
Because
I did too. I was like, oh, okay, this is
It just felt like it was a Friday evening.
Yeah.
We paused it once or twice to grab something to eat or something to drink or whatever.
I didn't even pee. I was like,
have sex for a minute, but it was fine. I mean, I didn't feel like, oh my God, we're only 2 hours in. If anything, I was like, I'm enjoying this so much. I'm like, oh God, we've only got like an hour left. And I was like really into it. So I was like, damn, instead of bitch, it's an hour left. Yeah. It's like, damn, it's only an hour left. Yeah. And so I love that movie. I'm ready to see what's happening here. I want to see what happens with the Legion of Doom. I want to see all of those things. There is this potential to bring together in the same way that they done with Marvel, all of these various superheroes and other things to do. It will be interesting to see, because Lois Lane had a pregnancy test. Now they didn't talk about that. Now what was supposed to happen?
Exactly.
First of all, Superman had in this movie, Superman was dead for over a year. It wasn't like he just died and came back 2 weeks later. Superman died, and then maybe it was even longer. Maybe it was like 2 years or so.
It was at least a year.
Long enough for where Lois Lane should have still had a pregnancy test. So the question was, who was she fucking? The answer to that was Bruce Wayne. And that would have made more sense as to why Superman tried to choke him, because it was like, bitch,
but then also,
bitch, do I smell my bitch on you?
But that daughter, Batman's daughter is, oh my God, her name is the Huntress.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that would have been the Huntress.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Because, I mean, that makes sense. A lot of times when people die, people who they were closest with, find themselves hooking up. Normally that person doesn't come back to life. And,
like, oh my God, I'm so sorry your husband died. So listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go out and we're just going to celebrate.
We're just going to comfort each other. And then, comforting.
If my finger ends up in your booty hole and,
right,
there's DNA swap. I mean, it's okay. It's all right.
Boom.
It's okay.
Boom.
That's what we want to do.
So I'm looking for, I really want to see what they do with Darkseid. I really want to see how that happens. And, people keep talking about it will be
you did not call Lois a thought.
They keep talking about Darkseid, or DC movies being so dark. But there is no way to do a Darkseid movie. his planet is called Apocalypse. His whole goal is the anti-life equation and to turn every place into. So there always has to be a point where at least part of the Earth becomes like Apocalypse. So I mean, that's what it's got to be in order to have that villain come to fruition. Because it wouldn't make sense to do the whole movie on Apocalypse.
That's true. But again, they could, because that's a whole nother storyline. But I love the anti-life equation and the way they had it spelled out or like written out in pieces. Like,
well, the whole point of it is that it's written into the fabric of the planet. So it's not something where you can just be like, oh, this is the anti-life equation. It's like, no, and so what that means is that in order to get the anti-life equation, you have to possess the planet.
Exactly. But I love the way they had it put together. For me, it was very well thought out logistically and planned logistically to, like you said, connect all the dots and have this overarching goal to actually make one nice little tidy circle and wind everything up in a neat ball. Mm-hmm. It had the potential to do
and that. I would love to see movies. Like I would love to see DC, like a DC version of what happened, because they've introduced like the Greek gods and other stuff. I mean, they already introduced Ares, so
and that's
what
supposed
happened
to come out as well
with cute Zeus, because Zeus was sexy.
Yeah, that's supposed to come out. What is that called? That's called the not the Immortals? It's called the Eternals. I think it is. That's what it's called.
That was on Marvel. I thought that was a Marvel movie.
I think, but I'm just saying but when you said the gods, the Eternals, I think they're a separate. Is that Marvel or is that DC?
I thought it was Marvel. I could be wrong, but either way, I'm looking forward to it. And I think because this movie is doing so well that I think in this capitalist society,
they're going to
particularly Warner Brothers is going to say, all right, girl,
just go ahead and do it.
Right. We're going to keep our mouths shut.
Someone said HBO Max is taking it on Batman versus Batman Deathstroke Justice League 2. You know what? That would be a good move. Hey, Billy, that would be a really good move for HBO Max if that's what they decided to do. That would be an awesome move.
Did you see the trailer for the new Suicide Squad?
I did see the trailer for that. It's kind of just like the first Suicide Squad. It was like
the first Suicide Squad, the cast was but I thought the movie was stupid as shit. I mean, I like Margot Robbie. I think first of all, I think she's gorgeous.
She is gorgeous. Now,
and she plays a very good Harley Quinn.
She does. And I also like Jared Leto.
Everybody else around them is ridiculous.
I like Jared Leto playing the Joker. I thought he was actually pretty good as well. I liked him playing Joker. I also liked the gentleman, the fire guy. I cannot think of his name, who died.
The Latino guy.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I thought and he was kind of sexy too. I said, now wait a minute. Now, why you got to kill a sexy man off? I was like, why you got
right.
Can I give him some water and like let him cool down on my couch? Like, I mean, why? Like, what's the problem? I don't understand. But everybody else, I didn't particularly care for. Like, and I understand star power, Will, and then also Viola. Now, Viola played the shit out of that character. Her evil ass. The character's evil ass. But
Amanda, blah blah blah.
Yeah. But other than that, I wasn't really impressed, and I don't think I'm going to be impressed about this second one either. I think it's going to be just as it's just going to continue.
Idris Elba's in it though.
Well, I mean, if he's not showing his booty, I really don't want to see.
Yeah, Idris Elba don't really blow my wig back like he do for some people.
Yeah,
that's fine.
And years ago, he has a certain sexiness, and swag.
Yeah, but just don't.
I don't swoon. Like I don't swoon over Denzel.
Me either.
Like I was like, okay, I mean, it's all right, whatever. He's,
he's not unattractive.
No, I'm not saying he's unattractive, not at all. But I don't swoon over him either. But I mean, people are like, oh my God, Denzel. And I'm like, hey, Mr. Washington.
Right. So, hey, Mr. Washington.
Yeah, like that's all I got to say about that.
So speaking of attractive British people, Reggae John blah 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 is not coming back to the second season of Bridgerton. So and it's not because of anything wrong, but because the movie Bridgerton or the miniseries was based on the books, and so the story with the Duke is pretty much concluded in book 1. So book 2 is about the younger Bridgerton son. So there's really not a whole lot in
I am not. So I said this before. I don't really do period pieces, and so I really haven't finished watching Bridgerton. Mm-hmm. I think I've seen probably the first 2, maybe 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't move
Don't do
me.
it for you.
It just does not. Doesn't move me. But that young man is attractive.
He's very attractive.
He's very attractive. And I see the appeal that he has.
Yeah.
So, but
got a nice booty too.
I didn't see.
You didn't watch the whole.
I only saw like 2 or 3 episodes. Like I said, like I got to.
You didn't see the part where he finally fucked her?
No, I saw where they had
Oh.
the celebration, like the fireworks, and they went off into. They were like outside. She was with him by himself, and they were like.
So did you see? So they aren't married when you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, no, they got married and finally fucked, and you saw his ass and all this stuff.
Okay.
Got a cute little booty.
Well, all right.
There was a lot of cute booty.
Okay.
All right. Well, you know what the kids all came for. So
you all came for our summary of Drag Race.
Yes.
Let's get into it, kittens. Okay. So
I'm going to maximize this so that we can see the most on the screen.
So listen, kittens. Season 13, episode 13 of Drag Race. Listen, we start off with our Rue look of the evening. Now, actually, I like this look for whatever reason. Like it worked for me with Rue. It had the double splits, and it's the same pattern, but it worked for me.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah,
it worked. I thought it was okay.
I didn't.
And I
hate
think her
it,
overall look was, it was okay. It was like check. It was like all right. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
It gave me very much of Greek goddess, almost like Greek goddess. Go out to go out on the club on the town. So that's kind of what I got.
Okay.
So, but okay. So here we are. So episode 13 starts off with congratulatory marks for Candy because Candy actually won.
Did I go too far?
No. You're good. Candy actually won an episode. Won a challenge, and so she had won the roast, and so she did very well, and so that's how it started off. And then they went into season 13 after they did some little quick barbs and jokes about stuff.
Yeah,
and they were talking about what they were going to do for this episode and the Maxie challenge, which was going to be acting roles in Rue's movie called Henny, I Shrunk the Drag Queens. And so she does this thing where she does the intro to the challenge and gives you clues to kind of tell you what it's about. And she started talking about small parts and big actors and big parts on small actors and all that type of stuff. And so she's trying to give those clues. And then once she announces what they were going to do, and she picks out these characters that are basically all based on all of the contestants that are there, their personalities. She brought in an acting coach, and that acting coach was going to be Scarlett Johansson. And so Scarlett Johansson came through on the video monitors, and so she was talking to them about things that they could do. And this was also after they had made the decision on who was going to take what part. There was a little bit of friction between Simone, who wanted this one particular part, and Candy, who wanted the same part. And so at the end of the day,
it was Simone and Olivia.
No, it was Simone and Candy.
Oh, okay.
Because they had a little quick barb about it, a little quick, friendly argument about it, if you will. And Simone was like, you know what, just go ahead and take it. And so Simone wound up playing the leader of the pack, and Candy wound up playing the evil villainess or whatever.
Right, Devon. It was like of all of the actors they could get to come on screen, they got fucking Scarlett Johansson.
Well, listen, she's hot. And
listen, I like Scarlett Johansson fine well enough, but if I was somebody to get acting advice from, now if they had gotten so
they could pull Viola Davis, they could have pulled Angela Bassett.
They could have got Wanda, Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes.
Because she acted her ass off in fucking WandaVision. Before WandaVision, I was just like, okay,
Have you started watching Falcon and the
No, I heard it was really good.
So I haven't started watching that either. I'm getting ready to, I'm not gonna watch it yet. I'm waiting till I did like with WandaVision, let me put all the episodes out so I can watch it. But anyway, so Scarlett Johansson came and gave them some acting advice. And then like towards the end of her time, her husband, Colin Jost, who's from Saturday Night Live, pops in. They're like, oh my God. Now,
the way they be going into people, I would be like.
Now, the funny thing is, I know his face. I didn't associate it with Saturday Night Live, and I didn't even associate him as being her husband until I had to look. I was like, that's her husband?
Yeah, they got me. Yeah, he blew up. He overachieved. I mean, he's an attractive guy, but yeah,
he's an attractive guy. But I was just like, I would have never put y'all in this.
Yeah, they dated. They met when she was hosting the show.
It works for me. I mean,
you know,
cute. It works.
Listen,
so
talk about stepping pussy up,
right? So the characters that we were talking about were and how they were assigned was Rose played the character named Brandy, Olivia played the character named Ginger Ale, Simone played the character called Margarita, Candy played the character called Dominique Perignon, and Gottmik played a character called Chardonnay. Now, they also, when they went to film, they also got, they were coached by Michelle Visage and also Carson Daly. Carson Kressley. And so this was a clip of some of the scenes.
Come on, Devon. They had Anne a few weeks before, then you follow with Scarlett. Talk about hustling backwards.
This is a clip.
Billy said Scarlett was a downgrade from Anne.
She really was. But so they had, there's a couple screens here from the acting challenge they did in front of a green screen. And literally they shrunk these people down. They were shrinking them down to actually put them on this green screen like they had been shrunk, and Candy played the villain who had something to do with them being shrunk and all this other stuff. And so these are a couple of the scenes that they showed where you get to see the girls trying to get from one side of the room to the other to hit the shade button, and they're climbing up a ladder up the cord. And then you see Mick got attacked by a cat, and then the other picture you see is where they actually Olivia Luck started reading Candy and made her start shrinking into this small person. Yes. So it was a corny little thing, but
I actually didn't think Candy did that bad in her role. I thought Olivia did terrible.
Olivia did do terrible, but Candy was pretty.
Yes, she was out of the 5. Olivia was the worst. I could say maybe Candy was the second worst.
They did well this week with their choices. So. Some highlights though was this large paw that Gottmik had to play with. Rose's loud beard when they went to go scratch her face.
Baby, scratch her beard. Seems like I'm giving you woman, and they
like I'm giving you Butch Queen.
Scratch. Baby, that picked up on camera so well.
It did.
She was like, "Oh my God, did that pick up on camera?" I was like, "Yes,
it did." Another highlight was Colin showing up with Scarlett Johansson on the screen, and then another highlight was Simone having kind of a breakdown on about being in her head and not disappointing people, and it just kind of gave you a little bit more insight into Simone. So, but they went from this into the main stage looks. And the main stage looks for the night, the category was called Hot Pocket.
Yes.
So now these 3 pictures. Okay. So here's the thing. Simone came out in this blue denim outfit. Now the coloring of the denim and the hair and all that stuff, that worked for me.
Yes.
I wasn't a fan of this pocket look. It just didn't
really look like a pocket to me.
But
I mean, it kind of looked like a pocket, but it was giving you everything about a pocket because it was clearly a pair of jeans with a zipper and everything. So it was more of a deconstruction of the idea of a pocket.
And that's now the bell bottom part of it, I adored.
Yes.
But other than that, I was like, but she looked good. I thought it was, I thought she looked good. Olivia came out with this diamond or sequined rhinestone,
and it was cute, but it was not.
It was cute, but it wasn't a pocket.
It was a dress with pockets,
with 2 big pockets, and
it wasn't. The concept was not.
It wasn't a hot pocket. That's what it was not. And Candy, like, okay. I tried to look at this and say, if it was on one of these Calvin Klein, death waif looking models, would it have looked a little bit different? No, it was a horrible dress. It just didn't go. It looked raggedy. It looked deconstructed. It looked unfinished. Right. And in her mind, it probably looked one way, but the actual execution of it, it just didn't do it for me.
Yes.
It just didn't do it for me. So these are 3 other looks, and these are actually two of my favorite looks for that evening. You see Rose, who had a reveal when she came out with the black and white and the 4 big pockets to take that off and have a black and white dress on with smaller pockets all over the dress. And then motherfucking Gottmik when Gottmik came out with this trench coat on and she had all these watches on the inside, immediately I thought of my name is Lenny. That's exactly what I thought.
I was like, okay, bitch, I see it.
That's what I thought.
See it.
And then she had the nerve to come on camera and say, this look was inspired by Hercules. And I was like,
Hercules? She said that, and I didn't know what the fuck she was mean.
If I remember, and Devon is in here. Please correct me. Is this from the cartoon, the Disney cartoon with the muses? Is that what she said? This is from Hercules, or was this another Hercules movie? Because I could have swore that's what she was making reference to, but I know it was a Disney movie. So, but in any event, the look was amazing. The tailoring of the dress and how it fit. It was all watches and chains and stuff. It looked amazing, and I liked the reveal. So that's what I did like about it.
Yeah.
And I thought these were two of the hot looks for me for that evening.
Definitely.
And no.
Well, you are our resident fashion person, and you remember. And yes, it's because you're young.
No, because listen, Devon is an old fucking soul. That's an old ass soul. It's an old soul. And I love it because I love it. But we're not going to, okay, back to Drag Race. So then they had them all on stage, and Rue announced that Rosé was the Maxie Challenge winner. Now, I don't necessarily know if she should have been a winner or not, but I was okay with that because it was one of two. I thought they were
all, everyone was either really good and kind of at the same level, or they were terrible.
Okay.
So I thought Simone, Rosé, and Gottmik. Actually, I kind of thought Gottmik should have.
Like, I'm thinking Gottmik should have probably won. That's kind of what I was thinking in my head. But anyway, in any event, they then wrote, Rue then asked the question, and you go to the next slide. Rue then asked the question of who should go home for the second time. And it kind of threw me off because I was like, bitch, they only asked this question one time. Like, they never asked it twice. I was like, why are they asking it a second time?
Right.
And then it was a shame, but I also agree with him that there were 3 votes for Olivia out of the 4, and 1 for Candy to go home.
You know why I agree with that? Because
I agree.
Olivia has been, she started off strong, but like everything she is giving this, little innocent, and it just seems fake to me. Listen, say what you want about Candy, but she is giving you real Candy on everything, and it may not be perfect. It is very, very flawed.
It's very it's very Candy, and I agree with.
I mean, just who am I interested in seeing as America's Next Drag Superstar? I don't want to see. I mean,
it's not Candy.
I don't want to see it as Candy, but I don't want to see it as Olivia either because I just don't see it for her.
Yeah, I don't.
I just feel like she has some cute outfits, but everything, was this.
I don't see it. I don't see it. And I was watching Sibling Rivalry, the podcast or the YouTube channel with Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange, and so they've
been reading the shit out of Candy.
They have been.
They've been reading this girl viciously.
But I agree with their choices. They were saying it's going to be down to Simone and Gottmik,
of course.
And so I agree with that. And so I think that if that's how it comes down to, Rosé does something to fuck herself up. If that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, because Simone is a consummate professional.
Get Dominion in Candy's outfit. Oh, Justin, I don't know about that one, baby. Now he can rock a few things, but the outfit is terrible. So that means you're going to see a whole different side of him, and he's going to talk about his outfit so bad while he's on the stage. I'm just saying. So,
well, I mean, if I wore an outfit like that, it would be to read it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it'll be like
it will be part of it. Like I could do. I'd like look. We could go and buy a bunch of pockets, and then just like duct or safety pin them together and turn it into like a dress.
We need to put that.
Yeah, it's on the list. It's on the
list. So, okay. So the lip sync wound up coming down to Candy versus Olivia. And I agree with the judges and I agree with the contestants with their choices, like we just said. Mm-hmm. And I felt that Olivia and Candy were the 2 weakest and should have gone up for the lip sync.
Yes.
Now, Candy was named the winner, but I put this out there. But did she win? And I actually like this picture of Candy. This is actually a cute picture of Candy.
It is.
Did she win? Because when I look at a lip sync, I look at A, do you know the words?
Mm-hmm.
B, are you entertaining?
Mm-hmm.
C, are you still in character? And that includes your costume. Because you know the worst thing I hate to see is drag queen on stage, you snatching clothes off or snatching a wig off, and you come out of character. Like, I'm not saying you can't be a bald-headed queen, even that's not my thing. But I need you to still be in character. Don't just start snatching shit off and then go from being Candy to then being Kent on stage. Don't do that. But I felt like Olivia's lip sync was amazing because she was emoting through the whole entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they chose Candy, but I don't know if I really agree with that over Olivia. But, you know, Candy made it to the top 4. So that's where we are.
Right.
We are now waiting for this episode 14, and we're going to see how this is going to go. And I've seen some of the trailers for episode 14, and it's going to be interesting. So that's what I can say.
Well, so
listen, it's about that time to roll that beautiful bean footage.
So y'all ready?
Get into it. Get into it. Get ready.
Get ready.
Bitch. Come on. Y'all ain't ready. You are not ready. You are not ready for how severe our bean footage has stepped up. Listen, Lynx, what you got to say now about our beautiful bean footage? Is it beautiful bean footage or has it been upgraded? Is it now like a bean casserole? Is it like a bean? Like, I mean, what? Come on, like what? Come on.
Tell Bonnie we said hello, Louboutin, and thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Please have Bonnie to make sure she subscribes.
Yes.
So she can get notification and to click on a notification so she'll know exactly when we pop on every single Wednesday.
Coyote, the music was one of the free pieces that they give you access to on the website where I built the show. So you know what? I feel like we can make some commercials.
I'm here for
and some, I feel like specific beauty.
Well, she's a sponsor, so I mean, they already have their stuff. So I mean,
exactly
right. And may the best woman win.
So we are trying to step our pussies up and do a little something and listen, if some of these other girls, because I've seen some of these YouTube channels, and I was like, girl,
they are doing a lot. They're doing
with very little.
Yes, they are.
So, I figured, we could do a little something and, try to do something with a few resources. Like, there's a free version of this that would allow me but it would only allow me to do that's altogether. That was like 8 or 9 slides.
Okay.
But the free version only gives you like 3 or 5 slides the most, and it's got the little logo. So just pay $15 a month for it, or $89 a year. And I just didn't pay $89 a year because I wanted to pay for it 1 month
and then figure out if you liked it.
And then because I think we liked it, and because there's a billion things that we can do with this.
Okay.
So like I said,
we
can use it to do t-shirts. We can do commercials
and the TikToks.
Mm-hmm. So So
your pussy's won. Yeah.
Thanks. So we are really appreciative of you all spending time on your Wednesdays. We know there are so many other things that you can do. Oh, and just as Drag Race is ending, Pose will be coming back.
That's right. May the 2nd.
May 2nd, which is what day of the week is that? Is that
May 2nd? Make sure you go on our page and check out the preview for it. We posted it on the BGKH show, so you get to see the season finale, the preview of the season finale. And just so you know, May the 2nd is actually falls on a Sunday.
Okay, perfect. So
it falls on a
we'll
Sunday
be able
night.
to talk about it on that show. That's
so the 2nd is Sunday.
5th. So we'll be able to talk it on May the 5th with the Cinco de Mayo.
So we gotta
do something.
Okay.
All right.
So yes, May 5th. And again, like I said, we posted on the page the preview for it. So go check it out if you haven't seen it. The trailer is like amazing, and it talks about a lot of different things, and it's so much. I see so much emotion, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm absolutely looking forward to this.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall definitely be reporting on that. So other than that, it's always a good time, and I'm so happy to be here in front of you guys, and we really have a good time, and I look forward to this every single week.
So when is 50 days to June the 14th?
We're at 67 days.
So
now,
are we looking forward to 50 days to 50 years?
I'm still having a problem to commit to this, but I'm trying to get it together. So
you got to do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I know you have way more pictures than I do.
I really don't, because some of the pictures I was like, you got more pictures. But I gotta scan stuff, and it's like, okay. But I'm gonna do my best. I'm not gonna.
See, here's how you fuck up. Learn from my mistakes. Don't start on day 50. Start now, pulling it together. So then you aren't like, oh, it's 11:45 at night. I need to post this before the end of, in the next 15 minutes. So start now, pulling it together.
Justin, you saw pictures on microfiche. Oh, okay, Justin.
The accuracy.
I got something for you, Justin. Okay, all right. Wait till I get to see you at some Eagle or somewhere. But it's all right. I got something for you, boo. I got something for you. But so I'm going to go ahead and commit. But I want to do something else. I was having a conversation with 007, Deviant, and also Gray about doing something else. So I kind of want some dancing stuff in there. So
okay,
I gotta figure out how we're gonna do this.
It's your birthday, baby. Whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, we gotta figure that out. And I'm gonna try to post everything for what I'm gonna do for that week as well. So stay posted. I'll keep you guys posted as soon as I know what's going on. But like I said, I'm just grappling with the uncertainty of where we're going to be by June. So let me just deal with that, and I'll figure everything out. But one thing's for certain, two things for sure. There is going to be a turn up.
Yes.
And there is going to be a vacation in July. So let's just be clear about that. So
you might not do a trip at all and just do the trip in July?
No. That's part of the turn
July. You meant June.
No. I'm saying July is in the vacation.
Oh, you said those two separate things.
Yeah, those are two separate things.
Got it.
Those two things are certain. And the turn up for me includes the trip and or whatever. I just don't know which way it's going to be.
Yes.
So we shall figure that out. But anyway, as always, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. So,
all right, kids, thank you all for coming out. God bless you, and good night as we roll the outro one more time.
Listen, thank you all. God bless and good night.